So hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So after quite a while, we finally got a Nintendo Direct. We got some major announcements, and a lot of smaller ones. And overall, it was pretty solid. So we're going to take a look at the biggest announcements in this video, plus a few smaller ones towards the end. So with that, I'm Anton, and let's get started. So the first is actually a game we've known for quite a while, and that is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. This is another solid look at gameplay, and the game looks really nice. Visually, it's one of the best Switch games. I've been playing a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, and it's probably one of the best looking games on the system. But this game just looks really immersive. It is funny how it was revealed all the way back in 2017, and the game is allegedly coming out this year, but we didn't get a release date here for some reason. We only got the same information that we learned about last time in the June Nintendo Direct, in 2025. And while what's probably going on here is that while it's most likely that they're saving the date announcement for the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, as there's probably going to be a Switch 2 version of the game that has major improvements like better performance and graphics, so we're probably about to learn much more about it, because even the box art for the game dropped immediately after the Direct, and that usually happens when a release date is given, so the game is relatively close, and will be released alongside the Switch 2, or soon after. The next game we had a second look at is Pokemon Legends ZA. We've already seen this game pop up at the recent Pokemon Presents, and it looks decent. Personally, I'm not that impressed. I'm hoping it's a fun game regardless, but it doesn't really give me the same vibe that Legends Arceus had, as that had expansive areas to explore, and overall I really like the style of that game, as it took inspiration from a past Japan, and really fit that Legends name. But this game just doesn't feel like that. And I just hate how the areas look very samey. The buildings are all just squares with textures on them. They don't even have much detail. To me, Lumio City should be like the hub world of the game that connects to other areas that are similar to Legends Arceus. But here I'm just not seeing it. The one thing I will give them is that the visuals look nice and the art style looks nice. But once we get our hands on the game, we'll see how it actually is. But I'm just disappointed that the entire game takes place within just this one city. Of course, it is coming out later in 2025, so there are probably things that we have yet to learn, but I'm still excited for it regardless. The next game is one that really surprised me. That's right, a new Rhythm Heaven game is coming to Switch. Rhythm Heaven Groove looks really awesome, and it's bringing back the quirkiness and humor of Rhythm Heaven. There is no way. The last Rhythm Heaven game released was Rhythm Heaven Megamix on the 3DS, probably one of the best Rhythm Heaven games. There's a ton of content there, and it's really easy to pick up and play. But the strange thing about the game, it was only released digitally in North America. But here it seems that it's a full new entry, similar to the WarioWare games released on the Switch. And maybe due to the success of those games, it paved the way for a new one, that hopefully more people will be able to experience. And I like the different use of art styles. So it's really taking a page out of WarioWare. The only questionable thing about this game is that it's releasing in 2026. Did they just start the game last week? Because it shouldn't take that long for them to make a new Rhythm Heaven game. And why bother announcing it now if it's going to be released all the way then? It's strange, but at least we are getting the game. And it's something to look forward to in 2026. The next up we have something that's actually not a game, but a new feature that allows digital game sharing across Switch systems. So from my understanding, when you have a physical game, you can lend it to someone and they'll give it back to you, or if they give it back to you, and that's a great thing about them. But with digital games, it's a bit of a different story. So Nintendo's created a way to lend digital games, as it allows your physical games to be emulating game cards. You can lend multiple games at the same time, but each game can only be lended up to 2 weeks, and then it will get automatically sent back to you. But essentially, you're lending over that license, and it's quite a cool feature, and something that I never thought Nintendo would actually do. And it looks like a brand new icon has been added to the home menu, which is the first time it's got a new icon since the Nintendo Switch Online one. But it looks like Nintendo has seemingly confirmed that there will be Switch 2 edition games for Switch 1 games, so that actually seems really interesting, as you might be able to have a Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But overall, a pretty cool update to the Switch menu. If only they snuck in themes. I guess we can dream. But now we move on to the last two announcements, with one of them being absolutely amazing. What's this? Tomodachi Life, guys. And that is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, a long-awaited sequel to Tomodachi Life, a fan-favorite game from the 3DS. The closest thing we've had to something like Tomodachi Life on Switch is Miitopia, which is pretty good, but it's not exactly Tomodachi Life. As for those who haven't played, it's kinda like Animal Crossing, mixed with The Sims. But in this game, it's more about the wackiness, as things can be really weird. But with this game, I'm really glad they kept that all intact. But the Miis seem to have been given a major upgrade, as they now have ears, and it seems like you can add makeup and other details to them, which was a feature found in Miitopia, which was such a good addition to the game, that made it possible to do so much with the Miis. But from what we see, this game seems a lot more expansive than the previous games, as Tomodachi Life and Tomodachi Collection were quite simple, as to navigate to the different locations around the island, you had to just click on them. As here it looks like you can just see the Miis doing different things in their daily lives. And here it looks like they have their own houses. As in Tomodachi Life and Tomodachi Collection, they had apartments. So this just feels way more immersive, and it looks like you can do building and a bunch of other things. And you know what, we should have seen this game coming, as there is one clue to a new Tomodachi Life game. Maybe this is a stretch, but if you look at the Nintendo Music app, they did actually add Tomodachi Collection, which is the game preceding Tomodachi Life that came out on the DS. And it was weird that they added the soundtrack above all the others that they could have added, but I guess now it makes sense, as even in the music of the game, we can really hear the sound font of that original DS game, which I think is really nice. But such an amazing announcement, and one that I didn't see coming. But it does make sense, as that original game on the 3DS was quite the success. But the only problem is that this game is coming out in 2026, like Rhythm Heaven. We won! 2026! Did they start the game just a few weeks ago? But the most likely scenario is that they just wanted something to add to the Direct, as it seems like this Direct could have just been a Nintendo Direct Mini, or even a partner showcase without these, so it's really strange that they just didn't do that. But these could just be the last games in the pipeline for the original Switch, as maybe that's why they announced them here. And honestly, it's great for people who aren't planning to get a Switch 2 right away, that still have games to look forward to. And these games will still be playable on the new system, so I think it's a win-win for everybody. But the last announcement was the Nintendo Today app, a new mobile app that delivers news, updates, and trailers. I downloaded it, and it works pretty well. It's got a bunch of different themes to choose from, and you can select series that you are interested in, so it shows you news about them. It's honestly such a good idea, and seeing as Nintendo wants to phase out from certain platforms like X or Twitter, it makes sense that they'd want to do this. And it makes all the news really convenient to see. And I guess they're gearing up this app for the Nintendo Switch too, with all the new games, updates, and information that we'll be able to see here. But overall, I think this Direct was pretty solid. There were also some smaller announcements too, like Raid Remastered, Witchbrook, the Dragon Quest remakes, Patapon 1+2 Replay, which looks pretty cool, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and even a brand new Everybody's Golf. So there was a decent collection of games. What did you think about the Direct? Was it good? Did it exceed your expectations? Or was it absolutely terrible? Well, let me know in the comments. And make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, as it always helps out. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one.